Alright, the defense pendant versus the life pendant, and when you should be using which one. Like if you have to choose between either or, we're going to be going through when life pendant is better and when the defense pendant is better. So just looking at the basic stats they give. Health pendant 30% health, defense pendant 30% defense. So in order to compare these two, we want to take a look at the effective HP of the player, like the defense times the health becomes how much your actual effective HP is. So if you have these common or if you have these legendaries, it doesn't really matter. It has no effect on the pendants. They will both give you these 30% stats. So both of them are exactly the same. If you're using any sort of gear, you're getting 30% in one or 30% in the other. It's when we mix in other sort of buffs that things really change around. So the first buff we're going to be looking at here is this advanced shield, adding 1800 health to the player. Then all of a sudden things look a little bit different, because this 1800 health, this gets boosted by the defense, because the defense will boost both your normal health and this will be affected by defense as well. Well, if you add the life pendant, it's only going to be boosting just this main health bar. So here, with just this, adding the advanced shield, the defense pendant is looking a little bit stronger at around like 4.4% more effective health with just this basic gear setup. But then we're going to be looking at a little bit to do with if you're adding Stronghold strategist or not. So these 4 pals here, it's pretty common to be running the Gobfins and some sort of glider pal, all of them with this Stronghold strategist giving 10% each. So you got 40% defense baked into the player now in this pal skill effect. So that has diminishing returns together with the pendant, because the defense pendant just gets baked into that for a like plus 70%. You don't get the 40% times 30%, you just get them baked together. So if you do add like the defense pendant, when you have Stronghold strategist, you're not seeing 30% more, you're seeing closer to like 21% more defense. So in this scenario, where you're just running your basic gear and then the 4 Stronghold strategist pals, this is when the life pendant is looking a little bit better. Just like a 2.5% difference, so not a big difference at all really. And that is if you're only counting that the shield is being depleted once, and then your entire health bar is being depleted the once. But then, like during the course of a fight, the shield can regenerate, and then it goes down again, it can regenerate, and you also have some passive health increase as well. So this 2.5% here, it's really marginal, and it's in this very specific scenario when you have your shield just depleting the once. So if you take a look at, let's add this health potion as an example, along with the passive health regen of the player, and let's just assume a fight is going around 4 minutes. You're going in against like hard mode Björn, hard mode Saya, or a raid, and they're usually around 4 minutes. You will have healed 3600, so then you can add that on top of the shield. So we're adding 1800, then we're adding 3600 on top of our health, and then multiplying that with our defense. Then they're looking very equal again, like 0.5% or 0.6% difference between using the life pendant and the defense pendant. So they're very equal. Once you just have your gear, your advanced shield, regenning with the ones, and then your health potion for 4 minutes, they're again very equal. So if we take a look at a little bit of a longer fight here, so let's assume like 8 minutes, your shield has regened 4 times, you're using 5 full shields, and you're using 8 minutes of the healing potion. Then the defense pendant is coming out quite a lot ahead. So you got 4 Stronghold strategist pals, then it's around 10% stronger than the life pendant. And if you don't use Stronghold strategist pals at all, like you're just not using boosters and gobfins and stuff like that, then it's 20% more survivability. So it really varies a little bit. Like the life pendant was just edging ahead if you were just doing the like basic fight, 1 shield, full health going down, and you had your booster pals. Otherwise, in all cases, like the defense pendant will be better, especially if you start counting stuff like regening shields more than once. If you have your passive, like even if you don't have a health potion, you still have some passive healing on the player, which adds up as well. So that very marginal like 2.5% is like best case scenario for the life pendant. And even then it's sort of like equal, not really winning out. So overall, I would just always use the defense pendant over the life pendant if I had to pick between them, which most often, like for me, I'll be running like something like this. And then you have your player attack pendant as well. And then if you're like on a flying mount is when I start to consider like maybe against Xenolord Ultra you would use something like this on like your Frostallion if you're adding some Frostallion damage. But there are a couple of cases where you might have a choice between these two. And yeah, the defense pendant wins out in pretty much every single scenario. Just because of the way it interacts with advanced shields regening and the health potion and the passive regening from the player. Adding Felbat to that, then you definitely want defense as well. Like if you're doing the Felbat and Lavander thing against the Chopper and stuff like that. So really not really any reason to use Life Pendant, and as mentioned, it doesn't really matter what rarity of gear you are using. One thing I can include that I did try out a little bit just in the beginning of this test here was that going from the cold resistant Hexlight armor and the Hexlight helmet, like these basic versions from the tech tree, up to the legendary version was around, let's see if I have the number here, 39, so almost 40% more effective HP by going from common to legendary. So quite a bit of an increase just from that. But it doesn't matter if you're using like what gear you're using, since these additions from the pendants are flat, like 30% to defense and health. It doesn't matter, there's no like threshold. Once you get past a certain point, the either or becomes better. It was just to do with like what sort of shield and regening you had. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.